Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I will not present to you any articles, I will present to you the videos. Some videos that I came across recently, some that I actually saved a while back. And I thought let's make it a little bit different content today, something that maybe you will appreciate. Because at the end of the day, it's kind of good to know the structure to some extent. Because as they always keep on continuing with the same rule, divide and conquer, nothing really changes. But sometimes I think we might get confused to who is really in charge, how those hierarchies go as far as the deep state, the politicians, etc. So today I would like to bring to you some videos. Two videos will have Robert David Steele, who I mentioned on my channel about half a year ago or so. Many of you are familiar with him. He is no longer with us. He passed away, I believe, due to COVID. That's what was told to the public, but I don't know the details. And he was very, very spoken, very active in the fight against the human trafficking. He used to work for CIA, I believe, and here are the videos. So let's start with this one. This one will present to you his very brief but on point explanation of how those levels of importance go as far as the deep state.
People need to understand that the deep state is above governments. The deep state essentially consists of the Rothschilds and the Vatican, including both the Black Pope and the White Pope, as well as the Chabad Jews. They use the Freemasons and the Knights of Malta at the highest levels as their fixers, and they use world banks as their managers. Most governments have two parties that are elected by 30% of the public. The other 70% of the public is disenfranchised. The politicians and the military leaders and the bankers at the national level are the best of the servant class. They comprise the shadow government, but they are not the deep state. They are the servants of the deep state. People need to understand that the deep state
All right, so I hope this was played smoothly enough for you to follow the explanation, which was really, really valuable in my opinion. Now, since Robert David Steele mentioned the bankers, I would like to show you and read you those two articles that are on the post. So let's start with this one, with the American Civil War that was engineered by the Rothschild banking elite. I know this is nothing new for many of you. However, I am learning all the time and there are many details that I didn't know about, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. Therefore, I decided to bring this to you, everyone. So let's read this. The Rothschilds used a divide and conquer strategy to take back America by creating a conflict between the North and the South. So here you see, right here, the North was to be a British colony annexed to Canada and under the control of Lionel Rothschild. This is the picture of Lionel Rothschild. You see the flag right here. Then you have the South. The South was to be a French colony given to Napoleon III of France and under the control of James Rothschild. So, I mean, the same family. So, you know, the money stays in the same bank, right? Just under different names. And here we have Abraham Lincoln, who opposed the destruction of America by issuing the greenback to fund its defense against the international bankers. Here you see the money right here, interest-free and later redeemable in gold. Government printed. And the bankers wouldn't stand for this. 5 days after the South surrendered on April 14th, 1865, Lincoln was assassinated by John Wilkes Booth, or Booth, I'm not sure how to say his name, a member of the Knights of the Golden Circle. That's another circle. So now, since we are still on the topic of bankers, let's look at this interesting post I came across. And I would really appreciate, guys, if you let me know in the comments down below what you think, and if you hit the thumbs up if you appreciate the content. So let's read this. We have two people. We have the owner of Titanic, JP Morgan, and we have the owner of Twin Towers, Silverstein. So JP Morgan, who is right here, the Titanic actually didn't sink. There was another sister ship that sank. That's another story, but let's just read this as it says. JP Morgan last minute did not board the Titanic. Larry Silverstein, right here, last minute did not go to his Twin Towers office on 9/11. Both men received the largest insurance payouts in all history. You see, I didn't know that. So let's read this here. This will give us some numbers. JP Morgan and Larry Silverstein share a striking parallel in how they were tied to major properties that later met catastrophic ends. Yet both happened to be absent on the days those disasters occurred. JP Morgan, the powerful financier behind much of early 20th century American industry, controlled the White Star Line through his International Mercantile Marine Company. Though he had planned to sail on the Titanic's maiden voyage in 1912, he cancelled last minute, citing health reasons. When the supposedly unsinkable ship went down after striking an iceberg, it became one of the deadliest maritime disasters in history. Morgan's company received a substantial insurance payout for the ship, reportedly around $9.4 million at the time, roughly $275 million today, one of the largest ever paid for a single vessel. Now we have Larry Silverstein, a New York real estate mogul, had only just secured a 99-year lease on the World Trade Center complex in July 2001, about 6 weeks before the September 11 attacks. On the morning, 6 weeks, On the morning of the attacks, he too was notably absent from his usual office in the North Tower, reportedly staying home for a dermatologist appointment. After the destruction of the Twin Towers, Silverstein filed insurance claims arguing that the two plane impacts constituted two separate events. He ultimately won approximately $4.6 billion in insurance settlements. So, I know many of you knew about it. I didn't know about it. There's so many layers to all those things, guys. It's really just follow the money, right? Isn't it? And I have one more video to play, actually 2 more videos to play for you. This one will be from ex-KGB agent who describes how you deal with certain group and what is the purpose of that group. Again, this is not the top of the hierarchy. However, the games are being played in the middle as well. So let's listen to him. I'm sure many of you came across this video as well.
useful idiots, the leftists who are idealistically believing in the beauty of Soviet socialist or communist or whatever system, when they get disillusioned, they become the worst enemies. That's why my KGB instructors specifically made a point: never bother with leftists. Forget about these political prostitutes. Aim higher.
But to eliminate the others, to execute the others, don't they serve some purpose? Wouldn't they be the ones they rely on?
They serve purpose only at the stage of destabilization of a nation. For example, your leftists in United States, all these professors and all these beautiful civil rights defenders, they are instrumental in the process of the subversion only to destabilize the nation. When their job is completed, they are not needed anymore. They know too much. Some of them, when they get disillusioned, when they see that Marxist-Leninists come to power, obviously they get offended. They think that they will come to power. That will never happen, of course. They will be lined up against the wall and shot. But they may turn into the most bitter enemies of Marxist-Leninists when they come to power. And that's what happened in Nicaragua. You remember most of these former Marxist-Leninists were either put to prison or one of them split, and now he's working against Sandinistas. It's the same pattern everywhere. The moment they serve their purpose, all the useful idiots are either be executed entirely, all the idealistically minded Marxists, or exiled or put in prisons, like in Cuba. Many former Marxists are in Cuba. In prison. You see, the useful idiots, the left.
I'm sure many of you came across this video, but it's a good reminder because it seems like nothing really changes. It looks like it's an old video, probably from 80s. I mean, that's not really that old, but you know, probably like 20 years ago or 30 years ago, maybe more. And I would like to end my video today with a very important video, also from Robert David Steele, and the work that he was doing. So let me play this for you. This will be about children trafficking and the involvement of, especially in this case that he is describing, of the US government. Not easy to listen to, but very important, because sooner or later humanity has to face the truth, and some, as I repeat often, won't be able to handle it. So let's take a listen. And please, if you appreciate the content, hit the thumbs up. It's free of charge. It really helps my channel with the algorithm, and subscribe if you haven't already. It's also free of charge. Let's play the video.
The United States of America that breed children in order to sell them. And when they are sold, they come without birth certificates, which means it's easier to kill them and have no one ask where they are. We're also importing children by the plane load. Again, children who have no documentation. It's not just child slavery or child sex abuse. It's also child torture, because you have adrenalized blood. You have the whole blood drinking ceremony of the satanic world. It's also the use of children for harvesting body organs. We'll have the Falun Gong testimony tomorrow. One of the reasons that the Falun Gong are so popular is because they're so healthy, so that you can harvest their body organs and get the very best. And then you have ritual ceremonies and ritual murder, as well as incidental murder. I have found in my research and preparation for this court and all of the work that will follow that most organizations that end up being used to prey on children, Oxfam is a recent example, all of the United Nations organizations, the Boy Scouts of America, all of the child services agencies across the United States of America, they did not start out as organizations to prey on children, but they attract pedophiles. And ultimately, pedophiles end up rising in the ranks and controlling those organizations, so that an organization that initially started out in the service of children becomes an organization that is in fact hunting children. Now, it's not my working assumption, but the working assumption yet to be proven, that the totality of the children disappearing worldwide is toward 8 million people. toward 8 million children. In the United States of America, the acknowledged number, not counting the children being bred without birth certificates, not counting the children being imported without documentation, is between 600 and 800,000 a year. Now imagine Africa and East Asia and all these other locations. I personally believe that the number we want to try to document is rising well beyond the official figures, and we have yet to learn what the actual number is. Okay. The other working assumption is, how long do these children survive within this system? What I am hearing from the witnesses that I've talked to is 2 years. It may be longer. It may be 4 years. It may be 6 years. But by and large, these children are so abused. I mean, we're talking rapes by the hour and so forth, that they reach their expiration date within 2 years. And then they're murdered with impunity, or they're ritually murdered if that's what they've been bred for. So I think we need to document this. No one else has done this before in a systematic manner. This commission is rendering a signal service by seeking to do an overall view in the public interest. I believe that once the public realizes that the government is not protecting their children at a scale of vulnerability that we can articulate, then everything else about the government is called into question. All right. So for me, this is a truly righteous endeavor. And I will end by saying that as much good as it might do to get the British angry, for me, the center of gravity for change is the American public. Because if you can get the American public angry, we will stop supporting dictators overseas. We will close all of our military bases overseas. I am on record as a former CIA operations officer saying that our 1,000 bases overseas are not there for national defense. They're there to serve as lily pads for the smuggling of guns, gold, cash, drugs, and small children. So let me say, I am proud to be in your company. And I believe that no matter what we do or do not do, it is going to make a difference. God bless you all. These children.
Leaves you speechless, doesn't it? So this is going on all around the world. Everything what Robert David Steele said, I 100% believe in. Look into royal families, look into many organizations, the ones that supposed to raise the funds, humanitarian ones, right? I know that a lot of you know what I'm exactly talking about. I think children will unite people, and this formula divide and conquer might not succeed in this particular case, but of course we will still have some demons who enter some human bodies, took over them, possessed some people, and either they have to be healed, rescued, removed, I don't know. But we have this evil that we are up against, and this is the spiritual battle, everyone. I will attach the link down below in the description box. And I would like to know what you think about the videos that I provided for you today. Leave the comments down below. If you choose to support my work, I would very much appreciate if you join me on Patreon. It means a lot to me, as well as you can donate on PayPal, or also become my locals supporter and join my locals community, or just say thank you by choosing the super thanks option. With this being said, lots of love, and remember, we are the leading edge, and we are saving humanity, and I see you in another video. Bye everyone.